Hey, this is Matt. Welcome back to the video, guys. And today I decided to pick up this article about a young 24-year-old TikToker who completely decided to ditch his hair system he was happy with in return for a free hair restoration surgery that he was offered. He hoped that it's going to be something better, something more practical. It's going to be his real hair and so on and so on. So in this video, I'm going to be commenting on his experience and whether it was a good choice or not, whether this hair restoration has a chance of working for him long term or not, or whether it will be just a very short term getting the hair back type of strategy. So let's find out more after watching this video. Before we start, make sure you smash the like button and don't forget that this video has been brought to you by GoFiber, which are hair building fibers you can use to mask any thinning or patchy areas on your scalp to make your hair look thicker and better. So make sure you check out the link in the video description below where you can visit GoFiber, get a free sample of your choice and try them out. See if you like them. Hey, welcome back to the channel once again. Good to see you, and this is the right channel for you if you are interested in keeping your hair, managing hair loss, getting your hair back to the next level with a hair restoration surgery, which is of course possible. It's going to be a wonderful thing for you, but you need to do it right. You want to maximize the success of your hair transplant and avoid potential pitfalls that guys usually fall into during their research and then regret their hair transplant because it failed. You don't want that. That's why you should subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and get on a one-on-one call with me if you are really interested in getting a hair transplant in the near future and you want to make the best possible decision. This is what I can offer to you, and right now let me just give you a short introduction to who this guy is and how he got into that decision about the hair restoration.
The universe works in mysterious ways and everything happens for a reason. I was meant to go to Bali at the start of last month, but different things kept happening that prevented me from going. And I had my flight and everything booked to go today. And like last week I started getting really pissed off with myself for not being in Bali yet. But then on Monday I got a message offering me a hair transplant in Turkey for this weekend. So I was like, I'm not saying no to this.
This guy wears a wig, a hair system right now, in case you haven't noticed. And he is unable to fly to Bali. He needs to stay at home for one more week and he's pissed, and suddenly there is this hair transplant clinic in Turkey that contacts him randomly because they have probably seen his videos on TikTok about hair system, wigs, hair loss, so they decided to offer him a free hair transplant. He accepts that and he's very happy, and he probably haven't even thought about getting a hair restoration surgery before, and suddenly now he's all in and he's ready to ditch his hair system, which by the way doesn't look bad on him and probably is a good choice for him since he's only 24 years old. So this is the story. That's how he decides to fly to Turkey and get hair restoration surgery done. He has to abide by a 1 month long sex ban while his new logs bat in. This is the biggest myth, guys, okay? Don't believe that. This has been already debunked many times by multiple doctors, okay? There is no scientific evidence of masturbation, having sex after the hair restoration surgery harming your new hairs. Obviously, if you have sex in the right after the surgery, the day 1 or 2, your newly transplanted areas can start bleed more, and the bleeding will not stop soon, so it's going to postpone healing, and some of the newly transplanted grafts can also pop maybe during the day 1 or 2 after the surgery. So yeah, you should not be having sex during the first maybe 4 or 5 days after the surgery, and then you can masturbate right after the surgery also. So here he's pretty much describing how hair loss affected him. He used to have that very high forehead at school and people were making fun of him, and this is how he decided to deal with it. At first, in his early 20s, he used that some type of spray to spray his skin. It wasn't even fibers. I don't know, I wouldn't even use this. It doesn't look natural at all. I don't know why he used this type of concealer. It's looking also darker compared to his natural hair color. I don't even recommend guys to camouflage their hair loss by spraying something on their skin. Like, as long as you have hair in these areas, then you can do it, but you can clearly see how he's camouflaging it on the bare, bald areas, completely bald areas where there is no hair. It can never look natural. It can never look okay. That's why I don't even recommend concealing your hair on the areas where there is literally no hair. But anyways, that's how he used to do it for a while. He got tired of it. He got offered a system, a wig, and as you can see here, it was a partial wig which which was installed on the frontal third, while the rest of the hair on the further portion of the mid scalp and crown was his existing hair, as you can see. That's how he lived for like 2-3 more months. I guess he was very happy with it. Looks pretty good on him. I really like it. And then suddenly somebody offers him a hair restoration surgery, and he's able to ditch that pretty much in February and go to Turkey for a hair restoration surgery. So he doesn't need to wear a system. So that's what happened. Here you can see again how it looked like before and right after the surgery on the right. And this is him with a hair system, which by the way looks pretty good in my opinion. This is also one misconception that many guys have, that he started to suffer further hair loss, which he believes was caused from overstyling the hair, and started using a root touch-up spray to cover his balding head. Again, this is another misconception, that guys with androgenetic alopecia think that something else causes their hair loss than sensitivity of the hair follicles to the DHT, which is the main cause of hair loss and hair miniaturization in men worldwide. Hair is damaged, hair can break off as a result of overprocessing, overstyling, overheating the hair, but it will not cause that miniaturization of that hair follicle, never, as far as the styling sprays and styling products. Not even hair fibers, guys, okay? You can also use a lot of hair fibers. It's not going to cause miniaturization of your hair follicles. After deciding to make a move to Bali, he recently plucked up the courage to go for a more permanent solution with a hair transplant. Like, is it really a more permanent solution in this case? We'll find out. The process can cost 2,000 pounds, however. He decides to get a surgery with Now Hair Time for the luxury hair transplant experience. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that with Now Hair Time you get a luxury hair transplant experience. However, do you really want to get just luxury hair transplant experience? Because I don't. I wouldn't want. I want to get just a normal hair transplant experience, but I want to have a great result. I want to have the best result, meaning good density, good design, naturalness, and non-overharvesting of the donor area. I need a plan. I want to have a decent surgeon involvement, if not like high surgeon involvement in the procedure. That's what you should be looking for if you want to have a good surgery and successful hair transplant long term. You shouldn't be looking to get luxury hair transplant experience. So this is the way they decided to create a hairline design. And although the positioning of the mid-frontal point, which is this point right here, is not technically super bad, if we do the rule of thirds from the tip of his chin to the tip of his nose, or maybe the area underneath the nose, then from the tip of the nose to the glabella, which is the point between the eyebrows, and then from here we go up. I mean, these are pretty much equally sized lines, which means it's looking symmetrical. However, can you afford that? Can you get away with it? Based on your age, based on your donor area strength, based on the further hair loss in the future, based on whether you respond to medication, whether you even take medication. These are all the factors that can determine whether you should go so low or not. Technically you can, but can you afford it really? They did a line way too straight on the side. If I would have been him, I had chosen something more like this, maybe half centimeter or even centimeter higher hairline positioning, and maybe go more like that on both sides and don't go so straight. But yeah, explain it to a 23-year-old guy who has been living with a system for the last months with such a low hairline and super thick, dense looking system. It's very hard to, be okay with having conservative hairline positioning, especially if the clinic doesn't really accentuate that and is okay with doing any type of design that the patient likes. The hair transplant is making me feel amazing, and it's a lot easier than a hair system. I mean, for now, he thinks that he haven't lived with a hair transplant for many years yet, so he doesn't know. These 4,000 or 4,500 grafts can never and will never provide such a thick looking head of hair like that, because this, what you can see, that it's a hair system. It has 100% of your existing hair density, probably even better in some cases. That's why it can have like 100 or even probably more follicles per square centimeter on that wig. That makes it very full and dense. The problem with hair restoration, or limitation with hair restoration, is that the transplanted hair will not look like that, cannot cannot look like that. The transplanted hair is normally transplanted in densities from 30, like conservatively, to 45, already high dense packing, 50 to 55, it's already very high dense packing for the first surgery. And this is usually the upper limit from the doctors that I have already stumbled upon. They usually go from like 25 to even 55. I know it's a high spectrum. Based on how good of a candidate you are, how many donor hairs you have, you can go with lower or moderate or higher density. This guy might have gotten, 40 plus minus grafts per square centimeter transplanted on the hairline. Considering how large of an area has been covered with grafts, I don't think it was way more than 40 grafts on the hairline, which is, by the way, 50% less compared to a hair system. And although once everything grows and he will have hopefully a good hair regrowth rate, once it grows full, he will likely maybe be able to style it this way as he had with a system, and he will maybe even make it look close to this, but only from certain angles. After styling and putting a lot of time into styling it right, he can make also the transplanted hair look like that for a short period of time. Again, as long as his hair on the mid-scalp and crown will stay strong and thick and will not fall out further, which is very likely it will fall out further because it's only 24 and he already could be classified as a Norwood 4 with 24. He haven't mentioned anything about medication, so that means he probably haven't been focused to stabilizing further hair loss either, and that's bad because that means he's uneducated and he just decided also to get a surgery like that from one day to another after one phone call from a clinic and then having it done the next weekend already. So that's pretty hectic. I don't think he's very educated again about the treatment side, how the existing hair also needs to be kept or maintained with the treatment. He's pretty much now having hairline like that, which is even lower than what he used to have as a kid. And here we can also see another reason probably why he decided to go with this aggressive hairline as he decided, because this was pretty much where his hair system used to be positioned. And he just got used to it, he liked it, and he wanted to get the same what he had with a system, with a wig, but now with a hair restoration, having his own hair. But again, it will be technically possible, but whether it will look as great and good long term, it's another question. And this is gonna be very hard to achieve long term, in my opinion, because again, I think that not only this thing will disappear in a near future, but also he will keep on thinning on that area, and it's gonna be very hard for him, to keep up with that low hairline and 4,500 grafts that have been already transplanted here. I wonder how many he still has left. Maybe just, 1,500 more if his donor was just average. Maybe 2,000, 2,500 if the donor was above average, but not really more than these numbers. And will it be enough? Not, of course not. And chances are, if the hair regrowth will not be optimal, he will probably need some touch up even on that zone later on, especially because this hair will thin out and it's gonna create more thinned out spot after a while. That's why he will need some grafting even in this area later. We have seen it, for example, with Wayne Rooney. This guy was like, 25 or 26 when he had his first surgery done. Yeah, it was a similar situation, and now we can take a look at Wayne Rooney 10 years later. Not only this first surgery wasn't enough, he needed another surgery, plus he still is thinning on the mid-scalp and crown, probably because he hasn't been using any medication. And Wayne Rooney at least was smart enough not to get an aggressive hairline design like this guy. So what I expect with this guy is, rapid hair loss on the mid-scalp and crown in case he's not gonna be smart enough, at least right now, and get on medication like finasteride, minoxidil, needling, microneedling, and so on. In case he's not going to do that, he's going to be screwed, in my opinion, and he will just return back to a hair system probably by his end of 20s already, in my opinion, because I can also see him. He's the type of guy who likes that fullness and have a really, full looking, dense looking hair, and I just think this guy might have too high of an expectation on how his hair looks like, and I'm afraid the hair transplant will not be able to deliver it to him long term. Maybe initially, after he can style it in a certain way, maybe he will grow it longer and he will be able to make it look full, maybe close to this, but long term it's very likely it's not gonna look as good anymore. And his donor has been already harvested quite a bit for the first surgery. Okay, all right guys, that was it for this video, and make sure you comment below what is your opinion. What would you do in this situation and how do you see that? Make sure you comment below. I'm gonna read it and respond to many of you guys. Make sure you get on a one-on-one call if you are interested in my personal help and assistance throughout your hair restoration research, me helping you avoid bad doctors and maximize your hair transplant success. And also if you want to consult hair loss protocols, make sure you check out the link below. I'm going to be looking forward to speaking with you personally and helping you out. That was it again. I'm going to be here soon with another video, guys. Take care.